What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day, and I'm back with another video. And today I wanted to talk about longevity, specifically between LeBron James and three other all-time greats, to see whose longevity may be the best in NBA history. Now, I wanted to compare these players to LeBron, since his longevity is considered by many to be the greatest in NBA history. I wanted to look at things like percentage of games played, total games played, including the playoffs, seasons played, and production later in these players' careers. So let's see how these players stack up against LeBron James in this metric. Now let's start with LeBron, who, like I said, has the longevity who many consider to be the best in NBA history, and for very good reason, which we'll get into here. So LeBron has played 1,492 games in the regular season out of a possible 1,685, which is good for 88.5% of the games. So he's played the vast majority of his games. Very impressive. And when you factor in the playoffs, he's played a total of 1,779 games, which is a lot of games. He's got the most games in NBA playoffs history, which is why this total is so high, which is extremely impressive. He's played 21 years. He's played 82 games one time in his career, and he's averaged 37.9 minutes per game throughout his entire career. So that will be the most on this list, slightly, but still worth mentioning that he's played good minutes basically every season of his career. Now, I will put up his stats for, the last few seasons. Of course, why LeBron's longevity is considered by many to be the best is because of this. The stats are really, really good. He's been, a top 10 or a fringe top 10 player for the last few years. Like I said, he's going to be a top 15 player at worst, probably the next two seasons when he's 40 years old, maybe even better than that. So we can see why many consider him to have the best longevity ever, but these other players have him beat in a few factors when it comes to longevity. Now, the next player is the one he beat out for the all-time total points record, and that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem is also known for his longevity, hence why he had the points record for so long. But Kareem played in 1,560 regular season games out of a possible 1,640, good for 95.1% of the games. So a higher percentage of games played than LeBron. In one less season, he did play more regular season games. He played 20 years in the NBA. And including his playoff games, he played in two less than LeBron at 1,777. So very similar there. He played 82 games in the season 5 times, and he averaged 36.8 minutes per game throughout his career. So these are very impressive numbers for him, and in terms of his production later in his career, it of course wasn't as good, but he did have productive playoff appearances late in his career. He won 2 finals very late in his career. I'll put up his stats for the regular season, but I also want to put up stats for the playoffs, specifically later in his career when they still won a championship, and he was late into his 30s, but he was still chipping in and being productive for the Lakers. So we can see that some factors when it comes to longevity, Kareem has LeBron beat, but of course LeBron's going to reign supreme in terms of production late in his career. The next player on the list is Karl Malone. And Karl Malone was second all-time in points for a long time until LeBron beat him out for that spot, eventually beating out Kareem. But Karl Malone played 19 seasons in the NBA. He played in 1,476 regular season games out of a possible 1,526, good for 96.7% of games, which is extremely, extremely impressive. When you factor in his playoff games, he played in a total of 1,669, so over 100 less than LeBron. So LeBron definitely has him in that category. But Malone still did play in quite a few playoff games, almost 200 in his career. He played in 82 games 10 times, and he averaged 37.2 minutes per game. So he was playing a lot of time for his entire career. I will put up his stats for his later seasons. He was still a good player. He was still playing a good chunk of the games. And he missed a bunch of time in his age 40 season with the Lakers, so his percentage could have gone up. He's only played slightly less games in the regular season than LeBron in 2 less seasons. So very impressive numbers for his longevity. The last player on the list is Karl Malone's teammate, John Stockton. Like Malone, Stockton played 19 seasons in the NBA, and in those seasons he played 1,504 regular season games out of a possible 1,526. Good for 98.6% of games, which is absolutely incredible. Basically 99% of the time, John Stockton, was out there playing. That is extremely, extremely impressive to me. And he played 82 games a whopping 16 times in his career. That is extremely impressive. He does play the least amount of minutes per game with 31.8 for his career. But still a sizable chunk of the game. Definitely not as much of a workhorse as the other guys. But to still play that many games, play 82 games that many times, that percentage of games, that is really impressive, and I don't see it talked about enough. I will put up his stats late in his career. Again, like the other 3 guys, excluding LeBron, the numbers aren't as impressive, but I still think that they're pretty solid for this late in their career after playing that many games. And still playing around 30 plus minutes a game. Slightly less here for Stockton, but all these guys really have good longevity as well. There certainly could be a lot more to discuss when it comes to the longevity of these 4 players, but let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to highlight the other 3 players, Karl Malone, John Stockton, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and their longevity, because I don't think it's talked about enough, and they were extremely durable, played a lot of games, played the vast majority of the games, and still had some production left in them late in their careers. Nothing like LeBron, which is why his longevity is often called the best of all time. But let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to quickly highlight these guys, give them their props, and compare them to LeBron, whose longevity is the gold standard in the NBA. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.